Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been having a hard time grinding Valorant rank, then I have a really important topic that I have to break down for you in the competitor's mentality. You see, all the best esports players in the world have a certain competitive mentality that you can implement in your games that will lead you on a track to success for years to come in any competitive game that you want to play. If you like Valorant content and want to improve, do me a huge solid, smash that sub button, but without further ado, let's just jump right into it, shall we? So kicking it off with the competitor's mentality, the first and most important takeaway that you need for this video is that your rank really does not matter. I'm gonna be incredibly frank with you. No one really cares about your rank, and you really shouldn't either. Yes, it's flashy. Yes, to an extent, you could have bragging rights with your friends, but the fact of the matter is your rank really doesn't amount to much right now. Sure, later down the line, you could definitely use your rank to get invited to things like scrims, tournaments, get on a team. I'm gonna break that down more later, but for right now, your rank doesn't really amount to much, and you shouldn't overly care about your rank. Now, you might be asking, okay, if I don't care about my rank, then what does that have to do with the competitor's mentality? How does this help me in any way? Well, you shouldn't be caring about your rank. You should be trying to improve. And the easiest way to improve is after every single death, ask yourself, what was the cause of that death and how could I avoided it? Did you lose a gunfight? Maybe a fair gunfight or even a gunfight you had an advantage in. Maybe your mechanical skill was the fault of that, and as such, you need to grind your mechanical skill. Did you try to take a fight against someone who had an overwhelming advantage against you? Maybe the enemy had far more health total than you, or maybe they had a gun that had a much longer effective range and you were playing too close to them. Maybe your game sense needs work. You need to be watching more guides, trying to learn as much as you possibly can, and implement that in every single game so maybe you don't die to the same things. Maybe you got swung by multiple enemies or abilities, you were flanking too aggressively, maybe your positioning needs a lot of work. There's always a reason for every single death, and there's always a learning opportunity in every single death to do something better immediately in the next round or in the next game. Now, while we talked about not caring about your rank and only caring about improvement, the next aspect of the competitor's mentality is only care or get mad at what is in your control. There's no point in getting tilted at your teammates or game bugs or things that you literally have no effect on. There's nothing you could personally do. You can't make your teammates gods out of nowhere. You can't fix some in-game bug out of magic. The only thing you could do is affect what you do every single round and what you bring to the game. At the end of the day, ranked in general is just a giant training room for scrims and higher tiers to play, especially in the beta, so treat it as such. It's really only just workout trying to improve yourself for personal growth, so really take that to heart and keep it in mind. Now, for tip number 4, for true competitors, scrimming and playing in coordinated teams is always the end goal. If you treat ranked as a hardcore workout of your mechanical skills, positioning, and game sense, that will help you see that even a loss is good. In fact, a loss can push you even further than a win ever can. Let me give you this example. Have you ever smurfed in any game where you're playing against people that are far lower than your level? Did you really learn anything for those games? Did you even struggle? Did you even implement proper strategies a lot of times? A lot of times you could just completely forego some things and just basically just get to run rampant. Those kind of games are not what you want. You want hard-fought games. You even want a loss because it can make you even better later on. Look at it for an opportunity to grow yourself personally and become better at the game. Now, the next thing that you need to do for the competitor's mentality is adapt in-game. Never stop trying it to the end. You see this happen a lot where you'll be down by a giant margin and people will just give up. They'll quit early. Even if you're down 1-12 and you have to win every single round to win the game. While this might be impossible, you need to be practicing this high pressure scenario because it will help you in the future later on. Give it your all until the very end. Maybe you're in a lot of 1v3 scenarios because your teammates keep dying. If you can't do it in ranked, there's no way that you can do it versus better coordinated teams, and this is the perfect practice. Giving up mid-practice session because you think the game is unwinnable just is extremely counterproductive. It makes no sense if your goal is actually to improve. Now, moving on to the 6th and extremely important aspect of the competitor's mentality, do not assume that the way you've always done things is always correct and it always will be correct. Just because something worked in one game or in the past doesn't mean it will work in every single game. In addition to that, don't chalk up every death as something that's due to randomness or RNG. Have an open mind to ideas against your perceived standard. That's the only way to evolve with the game and change with time. Now, moving on to the second to the last thing about the competitor's mentality is don't fight against the meta to be unique. This is something that has happened a lot against players that really want to take the game seriously. They want to go pro, they want to climb really hard, they want to make a name for themselves. However, they feel like they don't want to be mainstream, or they specifically want to be kind of special or unique in a given way. True competitors play to win, and they adopt the best strategies available and perfect them. Trying to become god tier with something that's not meta or with strategies that aren't meta just makes it harder on you and sets you up poorly for future teams and scrims. Being unique and quirky and different might be what you want out of a game, but it's counterproductive to the competitor's mentality if you want to push yourself as far as physically possible. Now for the 8th and final thing, the final thing that goes along with the competitor's mentality, this might be a little bit controversial, but you might need to hear this, is to treat yourself like a tool to actually perform and make sure you're not overworking yourself. Do you have good lighting? Are your eyes dried out and really like strained from looking at a monitor for so long in the pitch black dark? Do you have relatively good health? Are you eating good food, or are you piling up on chips and basically malnourishing your body? Did you get a decent amount of sleep? You need to keep in mind, while all these things kind of seem silly to a gamer, esports athletes need sound mind and body. Reflexes, calm mind while you're playing, collectiveness, ability to learn are all linked to a solid baseline of health. Your body and your reflexes are the engine that powers your character. This is particularly important for people that are aging past 18 to the 20s and 30s. Your reflexes are going to start deteriorating immensely fast if you don't actually put any effort into keeping yourself physically fit and mentally sound. While you might not think this stuff matters, I promise you, you're going to be playing at a tier above your current self if you make sure to at least take care of yourself in some capacity, even if it's just for performing in a game. Anyways, if you want to truly adopt the competitive mindset and you want to up your game at Valorant, smash that sub button. We're going to be pumping out tons of news, updates, and in-depth guides to make sure that you have everything you need to succeed in the game. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or just want to chat, let me know in the comments down below or hit me up on my Discord. That's all I got for you today. I'm Coach Mills, and until next time.